This week on the Digital Coffee, is it the end of the Twitter block? Threads is coming to a computer near you, and at last, LinkedIn is giving us a partnership tag. All that and more after this. Good morning. I almost forgot to grab my mug. And welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for your business. My name is Amanda Webb and I am a digital marketing ROI mentor, trainer, consultant. That means that I help businesses just like yours to get more return on investment, more money in return for the time, the energy and the cash that you are spending online. And that includes finding your way around Google Analytics 4. If you want help with your Google Analytics 4, I am the one for you. But an end to that, I can see we've got people watching. So firstly, if you're not used to this show, I'm grabbing this mug very late because we are sharing a digital drink together. What is in your mug? Mine is full of digital coffee, which sadly doesn't taste very good. I'd love to know what is in your cup. Secondly, she puts the mug down and hopes it doesn't make too much noise. Secondly, I'd love to know where you are watching, both physically in the world, and what network are you watching on. So as you can see, we've got May King over on YouTube, and I can see that we've got Ginny over on Facebook. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I'd love to know. I'd love you to say hello. If you are watching on Twitter, I'll catch up with you later. I'd love to know. Anyway, great to see you all here. We've got a lot of fun packed into this week's show. But don't forget that after the show, it's not over when this show is over. No. Trying to find the thing. Here we go. After the show, you can join myself and May King Sang over on LinkedIn, where we record our podcast, The Extra Shot Live, and we take one of these stories and we discuss them in more detail. And we haven't even decided what story that's going to be yet. We also decide who won the internet this week and who lost it. Is it going to be Mr. Elon Musk, or is it going to be someone else for a change? So don't forget, that's over on LinkedIn. The reason I've got that QR code up is if you scan that, will bring you straight to the LinkedIn event. You can RSVP there, or just come and connect with myself of Making at 10:30, and you can join in and you can have your view and appear on our podcast. How cool would that be? Very cool. That's how cool. Okay, enough of that. Let's get on with the news.
I'm Ant McGinley and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
When Elon Musk announces something, he does it in the most bizarre way, doesn't he? It's like just randomly tweets or posts on X, whatever you want to call it. He randomly posts something on X and we all get in a bit of a mess about it, because really he's very messy. So one of these random bizarre things that he happened to post this week was that he's getting rid of the block. We're going to get rid of block. You won't be able to block people. You'll be able to block them from your DMs, but nothing else. Mute should be enough. As you can imagine, the world of Twitter didn't respond well to that at all. No. And you know what? It was people across the political spectrum. It was people on the right wing. It was people on the left wing. It was people in the middle wing, whatever they happen to be called. Nobody liked this idea at all because, of course, people, trolls, horrible people who are abusive can just stalk you. If you aren't able to block them, they're able to see everything that you post, comment on everything you post, reshare everything you post with their snidey comments. So this is obviously a bad idea. A couple of days later, a couple of hours later, or later, the CEO of X, I almost said Twitter there. Yes, Elon Musk is no longer the CEO, just in case you missed it. She sent out a tweet saying that in response to Monica Lewinsky, which is just bizarre in its own way, that safety on X is their number one priority. We're building something better than the current state of block and mute. So it's okay. They might not get rid of block altogether, They're just rebuilding it. A couple of people's responses were that the App Store wouldn't let them get rid of block and they picked some obscure bit out of the App Store. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that means something else, not necessarily what we want it to mean. Other people were just worried about safety. It's no coincidence that downloads of the X app hemorrhaged after that announcement. And it's no surprise that people are looking to go somewhere else. Where will that somewhere else be? I wonder.
Hey, I'm Christine Gritman, and you are watching The Digital Coffee with social media superstar Amanda Webb.
You know what? I think it was a mistake for, I'm not sure they could have done anything about it, but it was a mistake for Threads to get so many users in such a small amount of time. Now, we know why they did, because everyone, even if you are in the EU where you cannot get Threads, got a notification about Threads, went to download it. So, lots of people from Instagram migrated over to Threads, and it was the place to be for about a week. And then of course the growth slowed down, or actually it went down. Active users, hemorrhaged, engagement, hemorrhaged. But I don't think, like many people are reporting that like it means that Threads isn't working and it's not a thing. I don't think that's what it means at all. I think all it means is that it's growing like a normal social network. It's got a number of active users now. It's got a number of active users like any new social network has. And I think we're going to see, now it's had a massive dip. I think we're going to see it slowly grow like it normally would, all the way through to when the EU are actually able to get it. And then we'll see a massive spike again and the same thing happen. I don't think we can judge Threads on your average social network trajectory. And what I love is that Threads, even though I don't have it, is constantly coming up with new features. Listening to customer feedback. We've got things like the follow tab, so you're going to see things like not random stuff. Apparently people are seeing, I have to talk vaguely about this because I can't get it. People are seeing random stuff. It's going to be more about the people you choose to follow. In future, you're going to get options. And this week they added something which would be great for people like me if I could get Threads. And that is a web version. So now you will be able to access Threads from the web. So for all those people who are tied to their computer all day long, guess what? Got a new place to procrastinate. Threads. This could be quite big for getting people to be active more often. I know most people, including myself, do most of our social media on our phone, but in a case of replying or typing a thread or a post or whatever you call it on Threads, I would much rather do it on the web because I can type on a computer and not on a phone. So I think this is quite an exciting update. Looking now to see that we've got lots of comments. Sorry if I've been ignoring you so far. Going, oh dear, where am I? There's loads of you here. So firstly, May King was the first time to come in saying it's her favourite day because she gets to hang out with me. Likewise, the love is mutual. Ginny, I mentioned you were here. Great to see you. Joe, great to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Lovely to see you here. I can see you've got the crufts. Does that mean it's cruft season again? Do we get to watch all the cute little doggies? Simon, who is lucky enough to have Threads because he's in the UK. Just context, I'm in the Republic of Ireland. We are part of the EU. Don't have Threads. Still love Threads. I'm thinking of it as a grown-up version of X. Well, long may it stay like that. Hopefully it'll still be like that when I go there. Lisa, he's saying it's not so sunny in Cork this morning. No, it was sunny actually when I got up. I thought it was going to be a lovely sunny day. It's got a bit dull now. And I have to say the For You function is much better than places like TikTok. Ooh, that's interesting, and Simon, and that's going to tie in to something we're going to talk about a little bit later on. Oh, I can just see Joe has commented about Crufts. Can't get rid of the frame. Crufts was in March. I'm amazing at tech. Well, you're just celebrating Crufts for next year. That's what's going on. That's fine. I think it's all good. It's all good.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
It is important in the age of influencers and creators for us to know when we are being advertised at, right? Because It's not like the old days when I were young and you'd watch the TV and there'd be an ad break and you'd know those were the ads and the TV was the TV. Okay, they have product placement in the TV, but you knew when you were being advertised at. But it's harder now, particularly on channels like TikTok or Reels. You see people, you don't necessarily know that they're promoting something, talking about, like I'm watching these videos that people put on this makeup and they have amazing skin and I'm almost buying and then going, I don't know this person. It could be an ad. And that's the thing. It's really important to know when something is an ad, when somebody is actually being paid to say something is good. It could mean that it's actually not very good at all, particularly if you don't know them and trust them. And that's why social networks like TikTok, like Instagram, like Facebook have a partnership tag. So you can say, we are running this in association with this. This is a paid partnership. That makes sense. But there hasn't been this option for influencers and creators on LinkedIn before. Which is weird because I know like a lot of my friends and a lot of my connections on LinkedIn are brand ambassadors for certain products. For example, I'm a brand ambassador for Agora Pulse. They don't pay me, but I get to use the tool for free. I am a brand ambassador for Sage. They don't pay me, I get to use the tool for free. So now, thankfully, at last, years behind everyone else, they are on LinkedIn adding the option to mark something as a partnership, which I think is good. I don't have this feature yet, but you will find it under your at the top of your post where you choose your privacy for the post. So like public or connections only, underneath that you're going to find that little tag, and when you add it, it will add it to the headline of your post. It's not a great layout, to be honest, when you see it, but it's a good step forward from LinkedIn, because up until now you had to rely on those creators, adding a hashtag or whatever to their posts. One thing I will note is that somebody I'm connected to on LinkedIn, Wendy, had posted about this morning. She's a LinkedIn specialist, and she said, this is how you do it. And she had a screenshot very similar to the one I had up there. And then she said, and you can see it like you can see it in my headline. And I couldn't see it in her headline. And I'm wondering, is this because I don't have the tool yet? So not until it's rolled out to everyone will we see how this works. I still think it's a great update. It's about time we had a bit more transparency from LinkedIn.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, I know some of you, looking at some of you there, are social media managers. Have you ever had a client send you a photo or a video via WhatsApp, and when you get it, the quality is just a little bit pants? It's not very good at all. Have you had that happen? And we know why this happens, right? We know it's because WhatsApp compresses messages, so they're not the full version of the image or the video that you're getting. So instead, you have to walk through your client through the whole process of maybe putting it in Dropbox or sending it via WeTransfer. It's painful for them, it's painful for you. Maybe you're not getting as many images and videos because the process is just so hard, which makes your job harder. Good news. Good news. WhatsApp is now allowing people to send high definition images. When you upload an image, you'll see at the top the HD button, like you can see just there. And when you click the HD button, you are given the option of sending standard definition or high definition. So this is going to be so useful for people who need to image share. And put that on top of the fact that we had screen sharing on WhatsApp. So now you can do kind of like a Zoomy call and share your phone screen. These tools are really making it better for service-based businesses to operate. I think this is a massive, massive update. Can't remember who I pressed last time, but we'll try this one.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
Social ads work best when you can track your success on your website. And I'm not just talking about Google Analytics, although of course Google Analytics are fab. I'm talking about being able for the social network to be able to see when people convert or load a page on your website. And we know these connect with pixels, which are a bit of a pain to put in place, or Now more so since privacy has become a thing through Conversions API. Don't even. Anyway, this isn't just important for you to see if your ads are working. This is also important for the social networks as well, because when they can see the type of person that converts into a customer or a lead on your website, they can start optimizing your ads to people who are most likely to do that based on the information that they have, which makes them all that much more powerful. But like I said, installing pixels and don't even Conversions API is a pain. But TikTok are about to make this easier for Shopify users. So if you're using Shopify, you will now be able to connect very quickly your TikTok pixel to your website. It's very streamlined. It's in the Shopify dashboard in your TikTok app. You just need to make sure, just in case you're a Shopify user, may as well tell you how it works. You just need to check that your data sharing level is enhanced or maximum. Obviously, check with your legal team as well whether that's acceptable. But according to TikTok, if you do this, if you connect to your pixel, you'll get your cost per action will improve by 15%. So maybe worth trying that out. What's very interesting is we know that TikTok is moving away to try, and in fact all the social networks with their WeChatification are trying to move away from kind of like sending people to third-party stores. And I was reading this week, but maybe their connection with Shopify may be, ending. So it's very interesting that they've added this feature close to that potentially happening. Now, that isn't verified. We don't know for sure that's going to happen, but if it does, it's just a bit weird that they're adding this new feature. I have to keep staring down because I've no idea what button. There's the button. There it is.
You're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
TikTok is more than a social network. You know that, right? You know it wants to be everything. It wants to be one web tool to rule them all. The WeChatification of TikTok, which is weird because it comes from China and that's where WeChat comes from. And you'd think competition. I don't know. I don't understand the politics of China and their apps. Anyway, we know that people actually use it for search. We know that young people specifically are using TikTok and Instagram for search more so than they are using the traditional search engines. So it totally makes sense that this week, this week, they are adding a new placement within your ad campaign. It will automatically be in search. Your ad will appear in search results when people are looking. You can't separate it out at the moment. You can't run a search ad or a social ad. It's all in one bucket. But I do think this could be really smart move from TikTok, because now you'll be able to get your brand awareness by posting in the feed. We always know that social networks are better at your brand awareness and your top of funnel stuff than the bottom of the funnel. And then you'll be able to convert them when they have that purchase intent at the top of the feed. I think this is going to be particularly good for local businesses, because that's a lot of what people are searching for on TikTok, is like restaurants and shops and hotels and whatever that are near them. So this is going to really capture that audience all in one ad, which could be quite powerful, couldn't it?
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
I have to read this because I'll forget what it is. Europe's Digital Services Act, which is called DSA, so this is an EU act, is forcing social networks within the EU to offer a chronological feed. Yeah, you heard it. Something that everyone has wanted for a very long time. The EU is forcing on people. Now, I'm not sure, because some things are EU and UK and some things are EU. So I'm not sure if this is everyone. But we heard recently that there's going to be a TikTok chronological feed. Still don't have it. But now Instagram and Facebook are going to offer something similar. Now, I know the Facebook feed, you can already order chronologically if you want to, and followers only. That's the other catch there. but you can't do that for stories and you can't do that for reels. On Instagram, I couldn't find a way of getting it chronological, my feed, but this update is only going to apply to reels and stories. And you will be able to select from your reels the chronological option by clicking reels at the top of the screen and then clicking on the following tab. That's what's going to do. That is from me. I don't see the option in stories yet, but I am seeing it in reels. Disappointingly though, I remember reporting on this maybe just like a month ago, that within that tab you could actually see local search results, which I thought was way useful. It seems to have got rid of that for the following tab. I don't think people really want it. That's what I'm going to say. I can understand that it's nice to have an option to opt out of what the robots are showing us. But we had a discussion about this actually on our podcast, myself and May King, about the need for a chronological feed. People keep begging and saying they want it, but when you get it, it's actually full of rubbish. Just to say. I can see we've got Howard Howie here. Hello, Howard Howie. You have to tell me if you ever want me to stop calling you Howard Howie and just choose one of those. I will. But for now, you seem to like it, so I'll stick with it. You're late. Yes, you have some Japanese buckwheat tea. You're the first person who's told me what they're drinking. You're very welcome to be here. Sadly, that is the end of the show. I'm just checking. No more stories, but we'll be back. We'll be back in half an hour. I'm having that moment. 40 minutes, just under 40 minutes, over on LinkedIn. Come and join us for a chat about one of these stories, which we'll be talking about more in depth, and find out who myself and May King thought won the internet this week and who lost it. And if you keep missing this, Howard, just looking at you, if you keep missing the show, I'm just looking, you can always sign up for email reminders. So if you scan that QR code, it'll bring you to a place where you can sign up for email reminders. You just get 2 emails a week from me, one about the show and one where you can watch the replay if you missed it. So check that out. Okay, it's enough for me. Hopefully I'll see some of you over on LinkedIn shortly. But if not, I will be back. Same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.